Well, that happened.
It was a lot.
And I'm just,
Well, we made it through.
I'm just gonna very quickly, just right off the bat, Ireland qualified.
Bambi
Crown
qualified!
the witch. Crown the witch.
Anyway, now that we have that out of the way, hello, Europe, Australia, and the world, and welcome to the CUP ESC, the Currently Unnamed Podcast network, where we put the real and the TNT ESC from top to bottom, honey. I'm Logan Murphy, say something gay. I'm drinking water. It's fine.
Yeah, hi, hello. I am Eduardo. I am the Mexican representative of this podcast. I am here to talk shit and probably get hit. And I am wearing horns today because Crown the Witch. Crown the Witch. They've made it. They are in the final, and I am so happy.
And I am Brooke, no longer a casual Eurovision fan. I have deep dived into this world, and
You have experienced the stress of semi-final qualification.
Correct. And you know what else I have experienced? A qualification from Ireland. And that's all that fucking matters. Crown the witch. I'm drinking water because hydration is important, but crown the witch.
Well, we just finished watching semifinal 1 of Eurovision 2024. We have 10 qualifiers from this semifinal. Croatia, Cyprus, Finland, Ireland, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Portugal, Serbia, Slovenia, and Ukraine have qualified for the grand final on Saturday. And we lost a couple of countries that we are not surprised that we lost.
We lost one that we are surprised that we feel bad about.
Yeah, so we did lose here today. Poland, Australia, Moldova, Azerbaijan, and Iceland coming out of this semifinal. I think collectively, the two that we are most disappointed by not qualifying, I think collectively for the three of us, is Australia and Iceland.
Yeah. And if you would have told me that before just to me today.
Yeah.
I mean, this was the best Hera has sounded.
Personally. Yeah, Hera sounded absolutely incredible.
Yeah. I just think it was one of those things where she had already kind of been like cast down into you will not qualify, and I don't think there was anything she could have done to change it.
And I also think like the rest of the world vote really helped other countries, and they probably didn't help Hera like at all.
I honestly think the way that the broadcast went might have helped Luxembourg. I gotta be honest. And honestly, for the future of Luxembourg as a country in Eurovision, I am fine with them qualifying. I did not want Polly to qualify. But for the future of Luxembourg in the contest, I hope that they send better people in the future.
Yeah.
So for the future of the country as a whole in Eurovision, I guess I have to accept it because it's what happened.
Something that I want to bring up though, because we had been talking about, we didn't know how much the early, like being able to vote throughout the entire show thing would affect it. The earliest entry that didn't qualify was 6th.
It didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
Only in the final. It's only
they changed it.
Oh, well, I got are you sure about that? Because this morning I got a notification that said rest of the world voting was open.
The rest of the world vote opened yesterday.
Okay.
Closed when the semifinals started airing and opened again. The voting at the top of the show thing is for the grand final.
Okay. Well, then I'm just stupid. Never mind.
But yeah, also by what you were saying, Brooke, we like almost all of the first half qualified. We only lost Poland from the first half, which is shocking.
None of us are surprised that we lost Poland. I think Poland. I like Luna. I like the tower. I just don't think I don't know what it is with Poland in a lot of the more recent years. Just picking singers that can't sing live.
Yeah.
With the exception of Achman, is really the only time in the last 5 years that Poland has sent a singer that can actually sing.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on with Poland. Recently it's just they're not making the best decisions that they could be making, because when I saw the staging for Poland this year, I was like, well, this is awful. But then I saw a clip on Twitter of like another performance that Luna did, and the staging was great. And so I'm like just wondering what the fuck happened, like from like how did we get here?
Yeah.
Why did we choose what we chose? I just don't get it. But like with what we got, it was not shocking at all that Poland did not qualify. I do like the Tower and I do like Luna, and I like the song I think more than most people on this podcast do.
Well,
But
me.
yeah, like I like it a bit more than most people on this podcast do, but still, like it was not shocking that it didn't qualify.
For me, it goes all the way back to the staging director. I think if the staging was a little bit less what it was, and I'm gonna say that and be kind, and I think that maybe if you didn't make Luna run around the stage the entire performance, she might have had a better live vocal and had more breath.
Fully.
I said this when we saw the rehearsals. It gave me flashbacks to Leslie Roy. It gave me flashbacks to Leslie Roy because they ran Leslie all over that damn stage. And of course she wasn't going to have a live vocal.
Yeah.
She was moving all over the damn place. There are very few singers that can sing and dance and move and run in that way. So
Yeah.
I feel bad for Luna because she does seem like a very lovely human.
Mhm.
The non-qualifiers that we did get also means that both of our returning artists this year do not qualify for the final.
I mean,
I
that was
mean,
not shocking.
are we shocked?
Honestly, given the performances they gave tonight, yes.
One of
I'm
them.
not-
I
One of them.
thought one of them would have qualified, and honestly, I thought that one would have been Hera Bjork. Because like we keep saying, I think Hera's performance was the best we had heard her sing. I think Natalia's performance as well. I like Moldova's song this year more than anyone else on the pod. So like you with Poland, Eduardo, is kind of how I feel with Moldova. I was like, I would have liked to see Moldova qualify. I think they probably phoned it in and realized in this whole field maybe there wasn't a shot for her to qualify.
I mean, let's keep it a buck too. Her staging was very minimal, and by minimal I mean there was borderline none.
Yeah, she
and
just
like
stood there.
she literally she was in the middle of that stage. She kept it literal, and
I
like
wonder if that was the point.
I mean
It's
maybe,
possible.
but it didn't work because I
It
mean we in our group chat when we were messaging throughout the semifinal, we all pretty much agreed that the national final staging was better than this.
Yeah.
And like that's not something that should be happening, especially considering the national final staging was very simple and like it just worked better. I'm not really bummed that Moldova didn't make it through because it was in my non-qualifier group. Actually, it wasn't, but like we kind of knew what something would get through that we did not want to get through. But like I think Natalia sounded fantastic personally, but it just wasn't enough, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, the staging I think really killed it because like it just didn't connect for me at least. Like what was happening in the background, like what in the screensaver was going on. I said that in the group chat. I'll say it here. It looked like a bunch, and I've heard it from people on Twitter. It looked like just a bunch of screensavers just happening in the background, and like it didn't really feel like it connected super well with what she was singing.
Yeah.
I liked, as we've said, like what the staging was in the national final and like the visuals of the national final. I feel like felt more accurate or felt correct, and this didn't feel as right.
Yeah. We also have, I think almost every country here is a returning qualifier for the final from last year, with the exception of obviously Luxembourg because they're returning,
Mhm.
and Ireland qualifying for the second time in the last decade.
Yeah. Yeah, Croatia qualified last year. Cyprus qualified last year. Finland qualified. Ireland didn't.
Yeah,
so.
everyone else here qualified, which
Yeah, everyone else qualified.
I mean, the story of the night, genuinely, and the story of kind of the last week and a half or so, is Bambi Thug.
Fully.
Like,
Bambi Thug could win Eurovision.
I think there is a genuine and real shot.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say win. I don't think a song like Doomsday Blue will win Eurovision. And that's just me being realistic.
Yeah,
Would I love for them
realistically,
to win? Of course I would love for them to win. I think that would be
We'll cry.
absolutely incredible.
We'll cry.
But, however, I think we're looking at a real, genuine shot at Ireland placing top 10.
I could even see it ending top 5
I mean, I think
with the right,
even
with the
like,
with the
bigger thing
right
too.
like amount of love behind it from the televote.
I'm worried about the jury. I don't think the jury is gonna love this song. I think if Bambi makes top 10, it's going to be because of probably a top 5 performance in the televote.
Yeah.
See, I'm kind of opposite to that. I feel like the jury might like it. And maybe that's just me, but it doesn't sound like anything else. And we know the jury likes that. But two, it's different. It's unique. They've been giving Ireland a lot of press lately. Just Eurovision in general has. Like, I don't know if it's definitely something that's going to be like, oh, top 4, top 3 in the jury vote. But I could definitely see it making like 10th or 9th in the jury vote. And it wouldn't shock me.
I just think we have a lot of jury-friendly songs
Mhm.
that are either now confirmed to be in the final or we know will likely go through to the final from semifinal 2. Because like France will be good with the juries.
Yeah.
I think honestly, I think Portugal is going to be really good for the juries. The other big one that I think I'm the most excited about here is Portugal, because Portugal was very much so on the bubble, had been everywhere between like 7th and 13th in the odds in the last like 3 weeks. And Yolanda, as she always has done, delivered a stellar vocal. Now, would I be surprised if we come back here on Monday with the scores in hand and see that Portugal got 10th? I would not be surprised by that in the slightest. Nevertheless, I am thrilled to see this song make it through. I think Portugal has a great shot with the jury. Yeah. And I think Portugal could get another left side of the table. And I really would not be surprised by that in the slightest.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's really possible. And I think now that it qualified, I think it feels even more likely the left side of the board.
It could be a similar situation to Alika from Estonia last year.
Bridges.
I really see Grito having a similar performance to Bridges, because if I remember right, I think Bridges was 8th.
It made top 10. I know that for a fact.
It will 8th. No, I meant 8th in their semifinal.
Oh,
yeah.
They were not a safe qualifier in the slightest, and then got like 9th, I think, in the final or something. Like they made top 10.
Yeah.
I think we could see a similar thing from Portugal. There were a lot of these here that I think none of us were surprised by. Croatia qualifying, not surprised. Cyprus qualifying, not surprised. I think this is the best Cilia has sounded in everything we've heard from her. So I was very thrilled for her. A great opener.
Yeah. Still not loving the dance break.
Still not loving the JoJo Siwa dancing, but like otherwise.
Other than that, it was great. Like the rest of the performance was really good. I think they specifically
I don't see her getting higher than like top of the right side of the table, if I'm being honest. Like I think the mid-teens is probably where she's gonna fall in the final. But I think it's another great result for Cyprus, and I think Cyprus should be very happy with that.
I personally am so excited that Serbia made it through. Because in the moment while we were sitting there, right? I kind of had figured, based on the crowd reaction, we figured Ireland would probably go through. We were terrified because they announced it 9th. But, like, we kind of figured we knew Ukraine, we knew Croatia. But I have been falling in love with Ramonda for, like, 2 or 3 weeks. They're just deeper and deeper in love with it. And the second they said Serbia, my heart filled with joy. I was so happy because Taya sounded fantastic.
She did.
Like,
she did.
Amazing.
And I think to couple with that point exactly, Brooke, I think the other country that I was very happy to see qualify, and I was a little surprised, I got to be honest, was Slovenia. We didn't know what Raven was going to bring. I thought Raven sounded incredible on this night. I think she sounded great. She looked great. I think the overall staging effect, for me, I know that's not the case with certain people here, Brooke. For me, I thought it was a very compelling staging. I think for me, what it comes down to is the cinematography of the actual performance. I think the way that they blocked those cameras was so perfect. They got right into Raven's facial expressions, and that woman is an actress, and she is going to give a performance, and that's what she did on this occasion, and I'm thrilled for her. I really am.
And also, I think she was in a position where she was already like in a beneficial spot because she had Serbia and Croatia in the semifinal as well.
Yeah.
And like we know that Croatia, Serbia, and Slovenia were all probably gonna vote for each other because like of course they're Balkan countries, they're probably gonna support each other. And so it didn't shock me that Slovenia made it, especially with like I've seen Raven she was like gunning hard for that qualification. She was on Instagram, she was on Twitter, just like vote for me, please. I want to make it to the final. And so when it happened, I was pretty happy that it happened.
Four ballads from the semifinal make it through.
Shocking.
Brooke, what were you going to say, Brooke?
I want to be clear. I did not dislike Raven's performance. I want that to be documented on the channel so the comments don't come from me.
I know.
The staging just didn't do anything for me. You know, but the people don't. The people need to know too. The staging just didn't really captivate me, but I think her performance was sensational. Like her actual vocal was great. Something I want to talk about though, the big three performances were also very interesting because the one I think the most people were like meh on did the best.
The standout of the night amongst the big three, I gotta be honest, was Isaac for Germany.
Yeah, which
I'm not surprised.
I have
We didn't get the opportunity to fully talk about the rehearsal footage for the channel, and that's just because scheduling has been stupid. When I saw what Germany brought for their staging, thoroughly impressed.
Yeah.
Seeing it live, I think Germany could get left side of the table. I think there's a universe where we could see Germany getting left side of the table.
Yeah, I think the jury might like it.
Oh, the jury's going to eat this up.
I think the jury's going to like it.
Devour this.
Pretty much. I'm not sure it's going to do that well with the public, but I think the jury will like it.
I think if you give it the right placement in the final, which we do know.
Yeah, this is gonna be first half.
Oh,
then that for sure.
Then he's screwed.
I could even. I'm gonna be honest. I could even see them putting him second. So that.
Oh my god! Could you imagine if the lineup
looks better?
Could you imagine if the lineup was Sweden and Germany?
Can you imagine the world where they put Serbia in second?
I think it is going to be. If I pray to every goddess known to mankind. I need Theodora to pull second half. I need her to pull second half.
Please.
If she pulls first half or producer's choice, they are putting her second.
I mean, the other interesting thing for me too about all of that is that last year, right, Mimi Cat had a really good performance in the semis, right? One of my favorite performances in the semis. And then they shoved her into second and she got like 23rd. So
it's the second place. We talk about it every year, but
they do not do it to Serbia this year because Tea's performance was better than, in my opinion, like almost everyone else tonight. Almost.
Yeah, it was really good.
I was gonna say I don't know necessarily what other song out of the ones that qualified from this semifinal. I don't know what other songs they could put second.
Slovenia.
They could put Slovenia. I think there's a universe they could put Spain second.
That's possible. However, I do want to say I don't think it's super possible because there's already like 3 automatic qualifiers in the first half that are like confirmed. So I think it's more likely that the rest of them are gonna be second half.
Well, yeah, because we have obviously Sweden is opening the show. Thank God, so we can get rid of it because the staging for Sweden was very good.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that at all.
Very well for the stage in MoMA. I just don't like the song point.
Yeah, the song is just not.
I mean, I'll even be counter to that. I thought their staging was cramped. I thought it didn't give you good perspective until the very end of the song where they're finally out of that stupid hallway. It did not work for me at all, especially considering I already find the song to be kind of boring. Not kind of boring, very boring. Yeah. So, yeah.
So we have Germany and UK also drawn in the first half. The only confirmed second half country we have currently is France. I'm so sorry, France. And then Italy and Spain both drew producer's choice, which I think is going to add a bit of something into the mix. I know they're on their way to the press conference where they will draw the semifinal allocation.
Yeah.
So it's potentially something we can talk about. Obviously, not during this recording because we're not going to go for 3 hours. I don't have that to say personally. I want to say I think the one country that I'm the most sad about is Australia, because I really do think that this is the absolute best Zachariah has sounded.
Yes.
Point blank period.
The difficulty though is I could also recognize that towards the end of the performance they were losing the vocal.
Yeah.
And I respect them going for it and going for the big performance, and I'm glad that they did. The other 4 countries that didn't qualify, I'm not surprised by that. Australia is the one that I really was hoping for. It also sucks that both of the non-qualifiers now for Australia are queer artists. Like, that fucking sucks.
Yeah, that's
that
not great.
Sucks.
That
like,
really sucks. However, at least Sheldon Riley qualified, so that's not like
Sheldon did, which I'm thankful for. Voyager did. I'm thankful for that. But, you know, the one I'm most disappointed about not qualifying is just Australia, personally.
I mean, yeah, out of all the ones here, it was the only one that I actively wanted to qualify before the semi. So, like, I don't really feel much about the rest of these leaving, to be real. I am beyond thrilled that this will be the last time the word Azerbaijan leaves my lips this season.
Thank God.
Thank God. That if they did not get 15th, I would be stunned.
I don't think they're going to. I think it's going to be Poland.
I could see it.
I think they're going to get... I honestly... And we talked about this before. And, well, actually, we talked about it a little bit in our live reaction, which should also already be up at the same time that this will be up. I think 11th is probably either Australia or Iceland, and I could see the margin between... I'm going to go ahead and say I feel like the most likely country that came 10th would probably be Serbia or Slovenia.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's Slovenia.
I was thinking Slovenia.
I think it could be Slovenia. I think the margin between Slovenia and what I'm going to go ahead and say is Australia in 11th. I don't think it's a wide margin. And I think we're going to come back here Monday to talk about the overall results, and we're going to see that it was Australia in 11th. I could see it being another TikTok scenario where it's like 3 points meant they didn't qualify. Like, I really could see that happening.
What happens if there's a tie at the bottom? Is there has to be a procedure for that, right?
Like between like 10th and 11th, you mean?
Yeah.
So it would go off of in the new televote era, it would go off of the country that had the most 12-point recipient, like the country that received 12 points from the most countries. And then if it's still a tie, then it would be the 10-point recipients. And then from there, it would be the 8-point and like down and down and down.
Okay, makes sense.
That's how they break the tie.
Okay, I did not know.
So like, for example, if Slovenia and Australia tied, in our hypothetical scenario here, if Slovenia received 12 points from 3 different countries in the televote and Australia only received it from 1, then Slovenia would break the tie in favor of Slovenia.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay.
And they do the same thing in the grand final, just with the jury points. And that's how it used to be for semifinals as well. So they favor the jury voting as opposed to the televote, which I don't personally agree with, but that's, a conversation.
I thought they had changed that. I saw in 2023.
Is it now for the final too?
I had seen in the, like, when they were doing last year, the mock final, they intentionally made it a tie.
Oh.
And what they said was, well, since there is a tie, we will go with who got the most points from the televote.
Oh, okay. So that might be how it is for the final then. I don't know. This is the second year with the new format, so honestly, I don't really know necessarily what the format looks like. So I'll go ahead and if that's what they did in the mock, then sure, we'll go with that.
Yeah, but that's with the final. I don't know how it would work in the semi-final.
In the semis, I believe it is still the 12, the more 12-point, and then the more 10.
That would make sense. Like the way that you explained it.
Those are the only scores I have to go off of. So, but yes, that is that. We have 16 countries now officially into the grand final of Eurovision 2024. We will be back here on Thursday to dive into semifinal 2, which I really think is kind of a completely open field. There are like 8 or 9 countries that I think are on the bubble.
I'm terrified. I'm
fully prepared to lose a lot of my favorites.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm just ready to be heartbroken.
I'm prepared to be heartbroken and also thrilled for people and also pissed off. Like, that's just...
All I want, I need 2 things on Thursday. 2 things. I need to hear Switzerland, and I need to hear Denmark. If I hear those 2 things, I'm thrilled.
I personally, I know that Switzerland's probably going to qualify. The one that I'm, prayer circling around is Georgia.
Oh,
Georgia.
So if Eduardo's prayer circle is for Georgia and Brooke's is for Denmark, mine is would also be Denmark, but you already told me. So I'm gonna throw my prayer circle behind Malta because I think
that too.
I think those need help.
I think those need really a lot of help, and I think those are 3 songs in a very similar vein. So
all 3 of those songs are amazing, and they all 3 should qualify. And
I agree completely without a shadow of a doubt. But I'm worried. I really have just no semblance of an idea of how. And you know what? I'm going to throw a second prayer circle because I can. I'm throwing a prayer circle for San Marino.
Same.
I think I feel a little bit better maybe about San Marino qualifying. Maybe. But I just really have no clue.
I know
if y'all are throwing a prayer circle for San Marino, I'll be throwing a prayer circle up for Norway just in case.
I know Norway's fine.
I'm pretty sure they'd say.
Honestly, I would safely say right now, I think the countries that I feel the most confident qualifying are Greece, Switzerland, Netherlands, and Norway.
I pray you are correct because I want.
Those are really the only. Those are the only 4. Those are the only 4 countries that I feel are fine.
Yeah.
Everyone else, it's a toss-up.
Yeah.
It really is going to depend on performances. If someone has a shaky vocal, that could be the reason between them qualifying and not. I'm so excited to talk about Thursday. I know I'm going to be mad and sad and
we're going to try.
Frustrated, and all of the emotions in the world.
Tears will be shed.
Probably. Yeah. They almost were this time with me.
Oh, no, I cried when they announced Ireland.
Oh, same. Happy tears.
I cried when they announced Ireland.
Yeah, I was shaking violently.
I cannot believe that we have an NB in the in the grand final.
We're gonna have 2.
We're
gonna have 2.
Hopefully we're gonna have.
Are they the first?
We have 2 already.
Are they the first?
Hopefully we have 3. Well, I mean, Ollie technically was the first, but
Oh yeah.
But not counting Ollie.
We did lose Zachariah.
The first
in peace.
to qualify for the grand final.
Yeah.
Come on, Nemo.
I have complete.
I know.
I think Switzerland is the one I am least worried about. Out of those 4.
Yeah, that's why. I think that's exactly why I didn't throw my prayer circle on them.
I just said 4 countries. I think the 2 that I am most confident about are Netherlands and Switzerland.
Yeah,
I feel I don't see a universe where they don't qualify. I agree. Honestly,
I agree.
But that is that. We're gonna get out of here. Let us know all your thoughts on semifinal 1 down in the comments below. Let us know who do you think should have qualified, who should not have qualified. I don't have my cup mug on me, so I'm glad Brooke does.
Buy your cup merch at lonegcreations.etsy.com. Link in the description below. We do ship domestically currently in North America, and we are working on getting international shipping, which should be back very soon.
It should be. Go check out the description below for all of our YouTube links, our audio podcast links, our membership channel links, our social media links, our personal social media links, and like Brooke said, the cup mug and all of our other merch. With that being said, we're going to get out of here and cheers.
Cheers.
Da, da, da,
Da, da, da, da, da, da.